Okay, students, so we're here and we're back, and now we're going to prove the right angle congruence theorem. All right angles are congruent to each other. Now, you might say, well, duh, that's obvious. And I agree. To me, this should be the right angle congruence postulate. Postulate is something we accept as fact. A theorem is something that needs proven. But nonetheless, I think it's a theorem just because it's able to be proved using the postulates we have. And we're going to prove it anyways because it's just good practice to build our angle proving skills. Alright, so some of this stuff may seem obvious. Why are we proving this? Well, we're starting with basic stuff to prove. We don't want to start with the complicated theorems to prove. We're really just getting used to angle proofs right now, however difficult the theorem may be to understand. Alright, so given angle A and angle B are right angles, we're going to prove that angle A is congruent to angle B. So again, look at this. There's 4 statements, 4 reasons. I gave you 2 of them. Now, that means we got 6 things to fill in. But as you learn how proofs work, the patterns, it's really not even that much. Because I know angle A and angle B are right angles is going to be my first statement. The reason is given. Alright, so look, I just knocked out 2 of them like that because I've been paying attention and I know some basic fundamentals about two-column proofs. Furthermore, I know my last statement is what I want to prove. That's going to be my punchline. So out of the 6 stuff I had to fill in, with really doing little to no thinking, I filled in 3 of them. So now I just have to use a little bit of brain cells to fill in the remaining 3. So angle B, A and B are right angles. So their measure of angle A is 90 degrees. The measure of angle B is 90 degrees just by definition of right angles. So I know this is new. You guys might not make these leaps or make these connections quite yet. So you're really just having to listen and follow along to what I'm saying. But we're going to use this stuff a lot, and you'll start to notice the pattern, and you're going to get better at it. Alright, now look. They're both equal to 90. Measure of angle A equals 90 degrees. Measure of angle B equals 90 degrees. They equal the same thing, so they equal each other by transitive. And lastly, since measure of angle A equals the measure of angle B, we know that angle A is congruent to angle B by definition of congruence. Neat. Alright, that's a lot of good stuff right there. The right angle congruence theorem. Alright, and we're just going to keep progressing. Now we got congruent complements theorem. If 2 angles are complementary to the same angle, then they are congruent. And again, I love how these theorems are named. The congruent complements theorem, because it's basically self-explanatory. And what this is saying is that 4 and 5 add up to 90 degrees. Well, 5 and 6 add up to 90 degrees. So it's saying that angle 4 is congruent to angle 6. Since 4 and 5 add up to 90, 5 and 6 add up to 90, 4 and 6 must be the same angle. So again, look at this beast of a proof. Alright, we're going to build these skills. We're going to get really good at it. Angle 1 and angle 2 are angle 1 is complementary to angle 2. Angle 2 is complementary to angle 3. We got angle 1 and 2 right here. 2 and 3 right here. 1 and 3 must be the same. Let's prove this bad boy. Alright, angle 1 and angle 2. I'm going to write comp. That means complementary. Angle 2, angle 3. Complementary. And reason is given. Alright, now again, buzzwords. I'm using complementary. Or I talked about complementary, so now let's use the definition of complementary. Angle 1, measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals 90 degrees. Measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3 equals 90 degrees. That's just by definition of complementary. complementary. It's the right thing to do. It's 90 degrees. All right, and that's just the buzzwords. All right, next, you might start to notice the pattern. Well, hold up. This equals 90. That equals 90. So they must equal each other by transitive. Measure of angle 1 plus a measure of angle 2 equal 90 degrees. Measure of angle 2 plus a measure of angle 3 equals 90 degrees. So they must equal each other. Now this one right here, the reason is subtraction. So what should we state? Well, let's just get rid of this measure of angle 2 from both sides. I can subtract that from both sides, and I would be left with just measure of angle 1 equals the measure of angle 3. Neat. And remember, the punchline, I always want to end with what I'm trying to prove. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 3 by definition of congruence. Alright, and as you can see throughout these proofs, they're very similar. Alright, it's not like I'm reinventing the wheel each and every time. There's only a certain amount of reasons. There's only a certain amount of different kind of proofs you can do. I know they're brand new. I know we've only done 3, but you're going to start to notice the patterns, start to make those connections, all that fun stuff. Alright, we got one more page of notes, then some Canvas problems. Stay tuned and listen up.